Hello everyone, my name is Onepeg, and in this news video, the third one for today, it's been a pretty busy news day today with a lot of stuff going on. But for this video, we're going to talk about a new development where Iron Mace Games, the creators of Dark and Darker, actually released something to the Korean press today regarding their stance on all things related to them versus Nexon. Now, just as a quick background for you all, Nexon is a large Seoul, Korea-based game developer that is most famously noted for the game MapleStory. They are also famously noted for creating and maintaining an awful lot of gacha games. Nexon claims that a pre-alpha build of Dark and Darker existed inside of Nexon's studio, where the vast majority, if not all, of the developers currently working for Iron Mace Games at one time worked for Nexon developing this project called Project P3. This was teased in August of 2021 using some screenshots and whatnot for a games convention of some kind where they had announced that this project was being worked on. Now, Nexon claims that one of the individuals, the head of this development team that was working on Project P3, was leaking information regarding the development of Project P3 and confidential IP out to the public, making it publicly accessible, and then forcibly terminating that employee, citing that they were in violation of trade secrets laws. Now, they have since levied a lawsuit against this person, who subsequently went on to found Iron Mace Games along with some other folks, and the vast majority, if not all, of the employees that currently reside at Iron Mace at one time worked for Nexon inside of this Project P3 development team. Now, this article, which is again written in Korean and translated to English, so I apologize if some of this is broken up, but once again, we should get the idea of what is going on here, was released this morning, and it's basically just a response from Iron Mace Games about what has been transpiring between them and Nexon up through to today. Now, the article says that amid the controversy that Iron Mace's survival adventure Dark and Darker was produced by leaking Nexon's P3 project without permission, Iron Mace has released an official statement. Iron Mace says Dark and Darker was developed by Iron Mace from the beginning and has never used any improper trade secrets. We have all development logs from the start. We have a dense collection of build videos by date, and if necessary, we will use these records to substantiate our claims. Commenting on the seizure and search, the representative said the second seizure and search took place on March 2nd, 2023, and we also provided and disclosed everything transparently. The raids ranged from the Iron Mace office and the personal tablets and mobile phones of former P3 team members, including litigants and CEOs. Nothing unusual was found during the search and seizure, and once again, the source code, art resources, and planning documents were provided as much as the investigating authorities had wanted. The following is the full text of their position. Now, they actually spoke about speaking to the media here. They said we thought it was best to focus on development, so we kept quiet while focusing on the development of Dark and Darker, even when we were attacked one-sidedly. Since a series of issues are under investigation against certain individuals, we considered it inappropriate to play the media. I'm guessing they meant to speak with the media here because of the translation. However, the opponent, Nexon, is playing the media beyond the norm and cleverly distorting the situation so that the public perceives the situation differently than what is real, I suppose. Iron Mace wants to take a stand on the current situation in order to prevent the reputation of the game from being tarnished by the players who love Dark and Darker. I think that is noble. Regarding vocations and related to theft, Dark and Darker was developed by Iron Mace from the beginning and has never used any improper trade secrets. All development logs are recorded from the start, and we have a dense collection of build videos, which we already saw earlier in the article. Issues arising from individual lawsuits are separate. Now, once again, this is not Iron Mace that is being sued by Nexon. The lawsuit specifically relates only to one of the founding members of Iron Mace and not to Iron Mace itself. We were subjected to one seizure and search of Iron Mace's office and the litigant on January 2022 due to the lawsuit of one of our members, and we transparently disclosed everything and fully cooperated with the investigation to clear up suspicions. At the time of the first search and seizure, all of the content, source code, art resources, and planning documents were already disclosed to the investigating authorities, and all contents requested to be submitted were submitted. I was later told that the litigant's personal investigation found nothing related to P1. So the most interesting piece, I think, out of all of this is 4B. Despite the fact that no leaked materials or evidence of use were found in the first search and seizure, the other party, meaning Nexon, not only tried to consolidate the company by proposing cooperation, but also continued to pressure and harass us through public opinion. So they're trying to slag, according to Iron Mace, Nexon is trying to slag them in the media in addition to offering them the ability to basically buy buy them out and reabsorb the company. Iron Mace expresses deep regret for the distorted delivery of facts and for the series of actions that can only be judged by retaliation. We hate bullies, but we will fight to the end without succumbing to the tyranny of big business. So from what it sounds like on Iron Mace's side of this, I guess, conflict, is that Iron Mace is trying to only protect itself and make the game that Nexon apparently didn't want to make, or at least didn't want to make the way that the development team wanted to have made it. Now, whether or not that is IP theft, I think is a really large stretch, because it's very hard to claim or prove, I guess, that Iron Mace actually stole the IP information. Remember, if you've been following this from the beginning, most, if not all, of the project people inside of Project P3 were moved to a different Tarkov-esque project called Project P8. And since having moved there and not wanting to do that, decided that they would leave and create something in this genre that they found to be unique. And I have to agree. Now, that being said, regardless of where it is that you sit on this whole conflict, whether you believe Nexon is in the right for suing them or you believe Nexon is in the right for saying that they stole IP, again, this is something that has to be proven to actually be true. And personally, I would prefer to believe that Iron Mace is innocent until proven guilty in this case. The allegations here are pretty substantial. If Iron Mace is to be believed, what they are creating is relatively unique. Perhaps this is one of those instances where Nexon decided that the Project P3 that they had been creating was going to become abandonware, and in throwing it in the trash, Iron Mace decided that they would pick this up and go off on their own and make this independently because they believed in it. So I find it interesting that Iron Mace is claiming that Nexon is throwing them money or trying to offer them money to absorb the company after saying that the company wasn't going to make it because of this pending lawsuit that Nexon is levying against them. So slagging them in the media and trying to drag them through court at the same time as saying that they're willing to buy them out speaks to the effect that a game like Dark and Darker is having on its audience. I mean, think about it. You're a large corporate developer that's making an alpha project. You don't believe that the project is going to go anywhere, so you dump it and you force all the devs to go and work for this other project making this Tarkov-esque extraction shooter called Project P8. Disenfranchised by that, the developers of Project P3 decide, well, instead of this now being thrown away, we believed in it, so we're going to break off and make something that might be similar in genre, but it's not going to be exactly what you guys had created, and we're going to go to the Unreal Marketplace and just use assets that are available at retail. Now, all of that could be the realistic scenario, and Nexon probably didn't care until the moment that Iron Mace decided that they were going to, I guess, market a product that people wanted to play. And in the last playtest, when you saw that there were 1.9 million individual accounts having tried out Dark and Darker, that speaks volumes to the effect that the game has. And of course, a large corporation like Nexon would take notice and try to grasp at that. Now, obviously, this could all be one big fabricated story, and this sounds awful nice on paper and could still, based on what you guys are hearing, seeing, and reading, could still, in your mind, be something that Nexon has a claim to. But the beauty of all of this is we don't need to worry about all of that. According to the people over at Iron Mace, they are continuing with business as usual. They don't see any foreseen delays with anything that they're working on. And personally, when it comes to corporations and doing what they're doing right here, I would personally like to believe that Iron Mace is innocent until proven guilty. Because again, if Nexon filing this claim in court is to be believed, that would also mean that there are criminal implications here for IP theft. It wouldn't just be a matter of money being exchanged or the game being buried. Somebody's probably going to jail in this case. So personally, I'd like to believe that the folks over at Iron Mace are innocent, and this is just a reach by an overly greedy and overzealous corporation trying to recoup what could have been theirs, at least in concept. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. Thanks so much for coming and checking it out. If you would be so kind as to follow me on my socials at OnePegMG on Twitter, at OnePeg on TikTok. I stream every day from around 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever at twitch.tv/OnePeg. And as always, if you would be kind enough to sub the channel here, I would be very appreciative. Thank you so much for lending me your eyeballs, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.